Hi, everyone. Welcome to ElCo Chats. ElCo Chats is a regular podcast where we feature El Camino College students, graduates, staff, faculty, and managers and talk about all things El Camino College. For today's episode, I get to chat with Ivette Diaz-Quintero. Welcome, Ivette.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you for being here. And Ivette, it's so great to get to chat with you. It's been 14 years since you graduated from El Camino College. So you were here from 2006 to 2009.
Yep.
You went on about your way and you experienced life. So I want to hear all about you. What are you doing? Tell me about yourself. What have you been up to? And then we'll talk a little bit more about how El Camino played a role all along the way. So tell me about yourself.
Thank you, Julieta. Thanks, El Camino, for hosting me here today. Wow, it's been 14 years. When I parked, I actually couldn't even find the library. But then again, I felt, when I started seeing like the signs, I felt at home again here. It was interesting how I was brought back to those times where I say I peaked here in El Camino. I did so many wonderful things, but Ivette Diaz-Quintero, pronouns she, her, hers. I am a first-generation Cuban-American college graduate, first one in my family to really do the whole thing from graduating college, transferring, and now I'm so fortunate that I have a position with the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health, Office of Violence Prevention. So my family thinks I'm a trailblazer. However, people say, oh, your kids look up to you. I'm like, they actually don't. They don't want to be me. But it's been a wonderful journey. So a little bit about myself. First generation Cuban American. I'm a mother of two girls that keep me super busy. Call them my two broke besties. Mm-hmm. I work for the Office of Violence Prevention, like I mentioned. It's been a wonderful journey working with the county. It's been a blessing for my family and I being able to serve and, talking about what I do and advocating for gun violence. Married, homeowner, I don't know. A lot of great things have happened since I graduated from El Camino.
And I'm going to take you to El Camino and what that experience was like. If you can recall, what was that like coming here for the very first time? And I also wonder, now that it's been so long since you've graduated and, all the things that you're doing now, did you envision your life, the way it is now when you first started here in 2006? Or what was that original goal when you first started El Camino? What was that like?
Yeah, I started in 2006, you're right. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I really didn't have a lot of guidance from my parents, even though they did push me to go to college and continue my education. I had really no one to turn to but myself. And that was really tough, really, coming here the first day and feeling like I had no one to ask for advice or no one in my family had graduated college. So I had no one to ask for support. But the first day here in college, I met some really wonderful teachers, professors, and someone told me about the Puente program, the cohort. And I actually applied and I got accepted. And that was the first time where I felt a sense of community and people that looked like me and acted like me and had the same goals as me. And I think being part of that cohort really transformed my life and opened a lot of doors for me, I would say, because no one in my family had talked about college as much as, I had wanted to. And I had to discover a lot of things on my own. At a later age, I was 19 years old, a teenager here, and I started researching majors, things that I didn't even know existed, programs and universities, went on tours to different colleges. And I had the honor and the privilege of being mentored by you, Julieta. You were always available. You had graduated and you were someone I really looked up to, and I still do, actually. So thank you for being there for me and believing in me. And I think having people like you, mentors like you, people that have been through this journey, I probably didn't have someone to come and ask for help. It really made a difference in my trajectory and where I'm at today. So I couldn't have not done it without the resources and the support that this college provided for me. I would say 24/7. It was amazing. I felt so supported here. And once I was part of the program, I had more of a plan in terms of like what I wanted to be and who I wanted to be. I discovered who I was here at college. I'm a Latina, and I have a purpose not only to serve my community, but to inspire others. And just the way folks here had done that to me. So I gained purpose here at El Camino College, thanks to all the positive mentors that I have. And things really transformed and changed. And once I transferred, I was able to continue with the lessons I had learned here and just push myself to new limits. So I owe a lot to the college.
That's amazing. And I really do appreciate your very kind words. And I want to talk a little bit more about Puente. And this is a program that has been at El Camino College for over 30 years. And so you were part of the 21st class for Puente. I was part of the 13th class for Puente. And the connection that they make with your English writing and reading skills, the mentorship component and the counseling are really like some of those that you just talked about. How did that set you up when you transferred from El Camino for success at your transfer institution?
Right. I mean, I can't say more of Puente in that cohort, in that group. Starting from the counseling, Griselda Castro was a phenomenal counselor. I mean, she wrote out my plan, my educational plan, based on what I was interested in. We took a lot of like quizzes to see what careers were lined up with our majors. We visited universities. So the mentoring was really important, a really important part. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of guidance, to be honest, besides Griselda. And then you came into my life and just gave me hope that I can, be somebody and be in your shoes one day and inspire others. But the reading and the academic part of Puente really enhanced my educational journey, because we were reading books that were kind of like my life story. I was learning different, authors, Latino authors, people that had similar lived experiences than I did, kids that were first generation that didn't necessarily live in a white picket fence neighborhood, that were surrounded by a lot of prejudice. I grew up in a not the safest neighborhood either. So just reading and being able to read literature on people that turned their life around as well really changed my life perspective a lot. So once I transferred, everything that I learned here really inspired me to keep going and keep trying hard and sort of thinking outside the box and connecting those dots. And really being true to my identity and like who I really am and who I want to be.
Yeah, it sounds like you're really leaning into your identity and who you are and taking that as you go. And it sounds like also part of, what is adding to your success is your ability to connect, right? You're connecting with people, you're connecting with the programs. And along the way, you also majored in sociology. What was that like as a, first-time student at El Camino College, and then again as a transfer student? And I wonder, when students select a major, this is what I want to study, but what does sociology look like now in what you're doing? So, how did that set you up, and what does that look like now?
Yeah, so when I first started taking sociology courses, I envisioned myself working with youth or working with at schools. I was really fascinated with how people work together in groups and what that looks like. So I took a lot of courses. I focused a lot of like sociology and education, and learning that a lot of students don't have the similar opportunity as other students. And that is unfortunately based on the zip code. So I was really fascinated with that component of sociology. And I ended up graduating in 2012. And the focus really was education. And I started working for Green Dot Public Schools. And I was placed for the first time in South Central in Watts, in a community that I would say is probably one of the most wonderful places I ever worked at. People would, disagree, but I think that really seeing folks struggle, but also thriving at the same time really inspired me. And seeing what they go through on a daily basis and how they're so resilient inspired me to pursue a career in organizing, community organizing. And then later on, I now work for the Department of Public Health, the Office of Violence Prevention, where I can really help make a change and advance a lot of change.
So you did sort of do some of what you intended on doing when you first started El Camino and doing that now for the county. In terms of back to your experience at El Camino, aside from Puente and the amazing support that you received there, what are some additional programs and resources that you took advantage of when you were a student at El Camino? Because even though it's been, as long as it's been, a lot of those programs and resources, I kid you not, are still here. Awesome. So what were some of those things that you took advantage of when you were here?
Yeah, I think I wouldn't have been able to graduate or transfer if it wasn't for the other components and supports I received here. And I think it started with a lack of information. But once I joined Puente, I realized that I didn't have to pay for college. Like, I was able to apply for FAFSA. I think you were working at the financial aid office.
At some point, yeah.
At some point at that time. I mean, this was a long time ago, but it was the first time I actually asked my mom, like, I need your W-4s, I need your W-2s to apply. And that was really just I don't even know how to say it. Like, it just opened my eyes because I didn't realize how little my mom was earning at that time and what she had done for me. But I applied for FAFSA. They covered a lot of the basic needs I had. I needed shoes, books. I mean, math books back in the day were like $200.
They're so pretty expensive.
Yeah. I would love those. I would take care of those and I would sell them back to financial aid. And then I applied for some scholarships here, which I was able to be a recipient for a couple of them. And EOP was another one that really supported with book vouchers. I'm just remembering all this stuff that I would participated in. But another really important program or thing that I was part of here was a student government, the Associated Students Organization, or Inc. Being the only Latina on there representing the behavioral sciences department was really impactful, and it changed my life. That's kind of when I started thinking about I saw myself in working for government and seeing how my voice really could change, could create change. And I remember one time they took me to San Jose on this conference, and just representing my college brought me a lot of pride, and elevating the needs of the students, and seeing how the campus would actually pay attention to us, and seeing how that whole, the whole process really worked. It really inspired me to think beyond sociology, think bigger, and pursuing a job in government, which I do now, which I'm so blessed.
I was just going to say, I think it's full circle. I'm listening to, and I'm remembering, when you were a student here, and I remember, all the interactions that we had, and hearing you talk about ASO, Associated Students Government, and your position. You were such an advocate at the time, but you're such an advocate now. I see you all the time on LinkedIn, always, sharing what you're doing and always advocating for others. So I think, you're a great example of how, what you're doing in college is ultimately setting you up for success as you transfer, and now somehow seeped its way into the career that you are in. Right. So having transferred from El Camino as a sociology major, and again, before you went out into the working world, if you can think back, how did your El Camino college experiences compare to your experience at the university?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's nothing compared to El Camino College no university can compare to what I learned here. I think some of the most important lessons that I learned was really reaching out for help. Mm-hmm. I felt like here at the college, at El Camino College, I was offered an abundance of resources and support. It was easy to access. And I took advantage of everything that I could. And then when I transferred, honestly, I actually dormed at Dominguez Hills. I had the whole experience, but it was nothing compared to El Camino. And I'm not saying, Cal State Dominguez Hills was any less. However, I think here, the blessing is that there's so many resources, especially for first generation college students. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I feel a little lost at Dominguez Hills. I don't know if I felt like I belonged there, but I finished, and it was still, a joy to be able to walk that stage here and there. Mm-hmm. And just looking at the crowd and seeing my mom and my husband and, my children weren't born yet, but just making other people proud and planting that seed of hope and just... It made a difference. Yeah, that was really important thing in my life.
And so now you graduated with your bachelor's in 2012.
That's right.
And you went out into the working world. You worked at Green Dot. You made it to LA County. Master's. Is that something that you are considering? And if so, and I wonder, what that might be like, because now it's been a while since you've been in school. So how would you navigate if you do decide to go back to school for a master's?
Yeah, it's definitely been something that I've been thinking about for a while. But life happens. I'm happily married. I have 2 wonderful daughters. They keep me busy right now. I'm really focused on a lot of self-care, healing. The healing journey is an ongoing journey, right? Growing up, like I mentioned, it wasn't the easiest journey having a single mother. And my mom and my dad actually are Cuban refugees. So when they came here, they were taken to refugee camps. I mean, their trauma, what they went through, really bled on me, I think I would say, and it impacted me a lot. So I think going back to the master's question and kind of what I want to be when I grow up, perhaps, yeah, I want to really. What I'm saying is, I want to spend time with my daughters and really make sure that they're college bound, which they are, college bound and college ready. Mm-hmm. I think those are 2 separate things, but I really want to spend quality time with my family and be present. That's so important. Sometimes my parents weren't present, even though they were there, just probably worrying about rent that's coming around, bills, different things that they had worried about. But hopefully in the future, I see myself getting a master's in public health, and hopefully one day maybe leading a program with the county, or even starting my own nonprofit. Who knows what life is going to do or take me, but I definitely would like to continue my education and get the master's.
I think that's amazing. I think those are some pretty awesome goals. And the fact that, it's, again, just incredible to see you were here, so many years ago, and now you're back and it's all full circle. So I'm so glad to know that El Camino College played, a very important part of your journey into getting you where you are now. And I think it's still where you are still going. So the fact that you're able to say and claim, hey, this is my goal, I 100% believe that it is attainable for you. What was it like today, being on campus after so long? How does it look? How does it feel?
Honestly, my experience here was lovely, to be honest. So it brought me a lot of warm memories. And it really just kind of, maybe it was like a reminder, like, hey, maybe it really is time to think about what is the next step in your educational journey. So today was a really, it was a good reminder for me that it's never too late to continue dreaming and to learn. And I always say I'm a lifelong learner. We never stop learning, and I think we should never stop dreaming either. Even though we hit, these heights, these career goals, these positions, titles, it really is, I think, about continuous learning and being able to inspire others.
Absolutely. And you definitely are an inspiration for others. And thinking about others. And again, thank you so much for being open with the experience that you shared and the experience of your parents and what that was like for you. What about people who are thinking about applying to El Camino or attending El Camino? What words of advice do you have for them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think my story may resonate with some people that are applying. People may be afraid because they don't know what to expect. However, I promise you, if you're applying to El Camino, if you're thinking about transferring or from high school, this is a place to be at. This is a place where you can call your second home. And there's always something to do on campus. There's clubs of different interests. I remember the students even playing Dungeons and Dragons in the gym. I mean, there's everything to do here. You'll find your niche here. I highly recommend the college because it can really teach you a lot of foundational things that you need in order to transfer. And you'll be very successful here, and especially for me, Julieta.
It's all you, really. Like, you did all the work, you set those goals, and you met with the counselors, you used the resources, so it's all you. But thank you so much for saying all that. So,
oh yeah,
thank you for taking the time and chatting with me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, Julieta. I'm so glad to be back here at home. I mean, I hope that future students, really consider coming here. You can put my email if they want, any information about how my journey, my personal journey. There's a lot, of things that I learned here that really have helped me be a successful Latina woman.
You are a successful Latina woman.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.